She once captivated all of Hollywood, but Veronica Lake died alone in a hospital, her ashes forgotten among unread files, the queen of film noir, with her one eye hiding hair and a smile that hinted at secrets. She was the embodiment of the American dream, yet behind the cameras. She sank into panic, a glass of whiskey to forget her name, nights wandering in shabby rooms, a ghost the world forgot. Why did this goddess face Hollywood's cold shoulder, pushed into poverty? Was her schizophrenia diagnosis a medical truth, or a curse her mother crafted to control her? Did a conspiracy in closed-door meetings erase her name, or did her inner pain prevail? A piece of lace in a letter, a whisper from the past, these clues still haunt. Stay with me as we uncover the secrets of Veronica Lake, where glamour hid a dark tragedy. Chapter 1. A Brooklyn girl forced to shine at the top. Her father died in an explosion, flames consuming every dream, while her mother used that death to thrust her daughter into Hollywood's spotlight. In 1922, in Brooklyn, Constance Ockelman, later Veronica Lake, was born with lake blue eyes, as if fate chose her to be a star. But Connie's life was far from dazzling. At 10, her father, an oil company worker, was killed by an industrial fire in Philadelphia. The image of black smoke and the blast clung to the young girl, leaving a scar that never healed. She still dreamed of red sparks flying through glass, in every sleep. The explosion echoed faintly. Her mother, Constance Trimble, remarried a newspaper employee, but nothing filled that void. Instead, she turned her daughter into a puppet, a dream she herself could never reach. Her mother wasn't just ambitious, she was a cold shadow. She brushed Connie's hair each morning, as if smoothing away memories of fire. "Smile," she said. "Actresses don't get sad." Connie didn't want the spotlight, it wasn't her choice. Her mother forced her into beauty pageants, acting classes, though the girl only wanted freedom. But a chilling mystery lingers. Her mother claimed Connie had schizophrenia from childhood, calling her unstable. Was it true years later? On an old forum or old Hollywood, someone claiming to be a Trimble cousin said they saw a letter, yellowed paper, trembling handwriting stating, "The girl must atone for what we did." Tucked inside was a small piece of lace, like the ribbon Connie's mother tied in her hair for stage appearances. The story's unverified, but it looms like a haunting shadow. At 16, the family moved to Beverly Hills under golden sunlight, but in their small house, young Connie sat before a mirror, practicing a star's smile, yet saw a 10-year-old, hands trembling amid smoke. Each night, she forced a smile as her mother wanted, but her mind stayed trapped in that fiery past. Hollywood beckoned like a glittering promise, but the darkness of illness and pressure sowed tragic seeds. Could the girl with lake-like eyes bear the weight of a dream she didn't choose? If that diagnosis was false, what darker truth did it hide, a past sin, or a lifelong scheme to control her? Chapter 2. An icon or a trap called Peekaboo. A lock of hair fell in accident under the camera's glow, but in that moment, Hollywood found an icon and a trap. In 1940, Veronica Lake, an 18-year-old barely 5 feet tall, stepped onto the set of I Wanted Wings. The producer eyed her and said, "Constance Keene lacks allure. Veronica Lake now that evokes her lake blue eyes." Her golden hair fell over one eye, creating the legendary Peekaboo style. Audiences held their breath. Men were smitten. Women copied the trend. Critics called her a mysterious flame, sweet, seductive, but always making you wonder what lay behind those eyes. Overnight, Veronica Lake became a star. She shone in Sullivan's Travels and This Gun for Hire, paired with a small, tough man, perfect beside her. Their duo defined film noir, with sharp gazes and dangerous kisses. They were every director's dream. A crew member whispered, "The Peekaboo hair that captivated the world became a burden." On set, she couldn't be herself, only a shadow of that lock. During World War II, factory women mimicked her, causing accidents when hair caught in machines. The government asked her to change it. When her hair was pinned up on screen, audiences didn't recognize her, but she knew part of her crafted image was cut away. It wasn't just appearance, it was like a knife to her free spirit. When the screen darkened, Veronica sat in the makeup room, staring into a mirror. No one asked how she felt losing that hair. They only cared, did the new style suit the lights beyond the glamour? She wasn't the perfect muse. She arrived late, sometimes drunk, arguing with directors. One co-star quit, unable to handle her silent storm, in unrecorded meetings. Her name was replaced. No reason given, just. Audiences changed tastes. Lead roles went to easier stars. Whispers said the studio quietly cut her roles, as if she were a thorn to remove. Though unproven, the thought that Hollywood turned its back chills. Lake's glory blazed like stage lights, but isolation's shadow crept in, ready to engulf her. Was the Peekaboo hair a blessing or a curse for Veronica Lake if an icon could make you famous overnight? Could it also mark you as a thorn to be plucked? Chapter 3: Mental turmoil pressure shattering her soul on set. She smiled brightly, but when cameras stopped, she backed into a corner, hands cradling her head, whispering as if afraid of being heard. Hollywood didn't see that. They saw only a star. Veronica Lake stood at the peak, but her mind was cracking. "I didn't want to be a star," she wrote in her memoir. "But Hollywood gave me no choice." Her mother's schizophrenia label, true or not, clung like a sentence. When she raged, they said, "Her illness is back." When she was silent, they whispered, "That's the symptom." The disease, real or not, became a weapon to judge her, a curse she couldn't erase. She drank, not just for parties, but to quiet the voices in her head. "Alcohol helps me forget," she told a set friend. Forget what studio pressure or panic she couldn't admit. Hollywood had no mercy for unstable stars. One day, she arrived on set, her trailer's nameplate replaced. No warning. She gave a faint smile and walked away. Her scenes were cut, roles reassigned. No explanation. "Audiences don't want her anymore," an assistant director muttered. Avoiding her eyes, she faced harsh judgment. A director restrained anger when she hid a pregnancy on Sullivan's travel set. "She's a mess," he told the crew. Was that fair male stars drank, rebelled, yet were praised as characters? Lake. She was labeled sick. A crew member said she sat alone in a corner, eyes red, murmuring, "They don't understand me." Her mental breakdowns weren't seen as illness, but an excuse for Hollywood to turn away. Whispers said the studio cut her roles, not just for behavior, but fearing her mental illness would tarnish their image. An unverified internal document hinted she was blacklisted for drunken appearances. She felt the isolation, an invisible blade. "Hollywood doesn't want a damaged star," she wrote. Her mind, fragile from her mother's control, was torn by pressure and judgment. She drank more, sinking deeper into darkness, unaware it was the first step to her downfall. Hollywood lit her up, but those same lights blinded her, hiding the way back. Who sparked her crisis, them, or her own inner darkness? Chapter 4: A Fading Star. Forgotten. The audience roared with laughter when she spoke, her clumsy German accent sparking giggles. Someone shouted, "Does she think she's acting?" Veronica stood frozen, feeling stripped bare before the world. The Hour Before Dawn in 1944 was a flop, and Lake's star began to dim on the blue Dahlia set. A screenwriter mocked her as Veronica Lake, saying she was best silent. Those cruel words weren't just criticism, they cut her self-worth like knives. Hollywood, which once lifted her, was turning away. "They don't need a star they can't control," a producer whispered in a meeting. She tried to return, but roles shrank. One day, she passed Paramount's hallway. A new film poster covered her name with a hasty patch. Studios favored tamer stars. No one said it outright, but in unrecorded meetings, her name was swapped out. Audiences changed tastes, they claimed, their eyes avoiding hers. She felt invisible. An industry insider said she arrived on set with red eyes, trembling, but the director just shook his head and turned away. Hollywood didn't want a star with mental burdens. In 1948, Another blow came from family, in a cold courtroom. The mother who pushed her to stardom faced her. She abandoned me, her mother claimed, demanding financial support. Veronica didn't respond, just stared at her worn shoes. The accusation, from her own mother, was another dagger to her cracked soul. "I felt the world turn its back," she wrote. In 1952, the IRS seized her home for tax debts. She watched it sealed, eyes empty like a faded star. She fled from Los Angeles to New York, leaving her husband and children, as if escaping Hollywood. But Hollywood's abandonment wasn't just lost roles, it was total erasure. Her mind, torn by alcohol and illness, couldn't bear the constant judgment. They didn't need her anymore. Her chair, marked Lake, was shoved into storage, gathering dust. Who sidelined her Hollywood, or her own storm? Chapter 5, homeless and self-blaming darkness consumes in Manhattan's dim alleys. Veronica Lake wandered, no longer a star but a shadow. Alcohol became her only companion, soothing panic and guilt. "I drink to forget Hollywood. My mother, myself," she wrote. Her mind, cracked from years of her mother's control, was like shattered glass, sharp, unfixable. She regretted abandoning her children, Elaine, Michael, and Deanna, in her worn purse. She kept their faded photo, blurred by water. She never looked at it, just held it as a reminder of guilt. "I let Hollywood steal them," she confessed to an acquaintance. Her voice choked. That self-blame was an invisible flame, smoldering in her soul. She lived like a homeless person, drifting between bars and run-down apartments, where old whiskey clung to the walls. A reporter found her working as a barmaid at the Martha Washington Hotel, under the name Connie DeToth. Patrons knew Connie, but when neon light caught her blonde hair, they whispered, "Is that her?" seeing her behind the counter, hands trembling as she poured drinks while patrons gossiped about her glamorous past, was like a knife to her pride. "I don't need pity," she said, voice firm but eyes red. A coworker said she stood on the back porch after shifts, staring at city lights, like a ghost of a star no one remembered. Rumors said she turned to sex work to survive, but no proof emerged. True or not, the rumor was a final stain on her once dazzling image. A hotel worker said she tore up a letter and burned it in a fireplace as if erasing something. The letter, if real, was supposedly to her mother, expressing resentment for being forced into Hollywood. "Hollywood doesn't want a damaged star," she wrote. Was she trying to send a cry for help, or just confronting her past? The story chills. Her fragile mind, marked by the schizophrenia diagnosis, true or false, was torn by alcohol and self-blame. She sat alone in cold, rented rooms, flickering lights on the ceiling. "I don't deserve to be a mother," she muttered, as if arguing with an invisible ghost. Hollywood abandoned her, but she abandoned herself too. Judgment from barroom whispers in her own heart pushed her into homelessness. The Peekaboo glamour was now a distant luxury, faint as the photo in her purse. Could Lake have overcome the darkness if Hollywood hadn't forsaken her? Or was her mind too broken? Chapter 6, Final Despair, Death in Solitude, by 1973. Veronica Lake was a shadow of herself. She tried a comeback with Footsteps in the Snow and Flesh Feast, but audiences saw only a weary woman, not the muse. A 1970 journalist described her. She looked like a janitor, but held her pride. She lived in shabby apartments, drifted between bars, a homeless figure forgotten by Hollywood. Her image under neon lights, blue eyes now cloudy, marked her final decline, while promoting her memoir in Vermont. Severe stomach pain landed her in a hospital. A nurse said she stared long in a mirror, whispering, "I don't recognize her anymore." Doctors gave grim news: hepatitis and kidney failure. From years of drinking, she had weeks to live, in a cold hospital room with no friends or family. Lake spoke of an unmade final film. A fax lay in her room. No sender's address. Reading only. "We want to see you again." Was the invitation real, or a delusion of a desperate soul? Lake died on July 7, 1973, at 50, alone and penniless. Her ashes sat silent in a funeral home for years, an unmarked box, dusty, among discarded papers. She died arruinada, alcoholizada y sola. An ex-post wrote, Hollywood, which once lifted her, fully abandoned her, her mind torn by illness and self-blame, found no escape. Was Lake's death just illness? Or did Hollywood push her into homelessness and despair? Epilogue legacy of a forgotten star, Veronica Lake, from a Brooklyn girl with lake blue eyes to a film noir icon with peekaboo hair, lived a life of contradictions. She mesmerized in Sullivan's travels and This Gun for Hire, but ended alone, homeless, her ashes unclaimed. Her legacy endures. The Peekaboo style inspired Jessica Rabbit and BioShock Infinite's Elizabeth. Her Hollywood Walk of Fame star and memoir, Veronica the Autobiography, testify to her resilience. Veronica Lake, the Peekaboo girl, lives in fans' hearts, an ex-post wrote. She shaped femme fatales. From Kim Basinger in LA, confidential to modern film and game characters. But her legacy isn't just beauty, it's a story of a soul torn apart, built into a goddess by Hollywood, then discarded like trash. Mysteries surround her death. Was the schizophrenia diagnosis real? Or her mother's tool of control? Unproven rumors of sex work chill, and the conspiracy theory that Paramount sidelined her true and unverified document hinted she was blacklisted for instability. Did Hollywood orchestrate her erasure? Or did her mind push her into darkness? A torn letter in a fireplace. A senderless hospital fax. These pieces never fit. In Hollywood's shadows, Lake's secrets remain buried. Her story warns of fame's cost. She was judged for being herself a strong woman who wouldn't bend. Her mind, torn by illness and self-blame, found no help from Hollywood. Instead, she was pushed into homelessness, where glamour became a memory. I never wanted to be a star, she wrote. But once Hollywood chose her, she couldn't escape. And when Hollywood no longer needed her, there was no way back. Her downfall proves this industry's cruelty. Veronica Lake was an icon, but also a cautionary tale. If showbiz can craft a goddess and discard her like trash, what awaits the next? Think of Veronica Lake when you watch a film noir. When you see golden hair hiding an eye, she proves even the brightest stars can be forgotten. What do you think of her story? Was she Hollywood's victim, or did her mind cast her into darkness? Leave a comment, share this video, and let's honor a star left behind.